Yeah. All right, everybody ready? Okay, I'd like to call the Madison Public Schools Board of Education meeting to order. We'll rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, and the closest flag is right where Galen is, down there. So, pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right. So we have a full table almost. We're just missing one board member who was able to join us earlier, but then on the leave. So we have 8 tonight. Next up is the school/community session where we solicit any public participation. And in advance of that, I would just read our public participation rules. The board welcomes public comment at our meetings. When speaking, please state your name and address. Comments are limited to 3 minutes in order to ensure that all interested parties have an opportunity to speak. Please speak on one topic per public comment session. Please do not identify individual staff members or students by name. The board is happy to hear from the community, but at a business meeting, it should not be expected that the board will respond. Neither public comment period is a time for public discussion. If necessary, the community member will be contacted for follow-up. If you'd like to have your comments read, please add them to the chat if you're online, rather than adding them to the questions and answers. Thank you. Do we have anyone in the audience who would like to speak? And do we have anyone online, Zoe? No. Okay. All right. Next up, the Board of Education Student Representatives Report. Eli, how are you?
Doing good.
Yeah.
So this past Thursday, we had our senior pre-prom assembly, and I think it went well. I wasn't there, I was taking a physics exam, but they talked about safe driving, and this woman came in and told a story about how her life had been affected, or her sister's life had been affected by a person making a bad decision behind the wheel of the car, and how it can affect her and how it's affected her entire life. And then on Friday, we had the senior class trip. It was originally to Brownstone Quarry. Not enough people signed up, so we switched at the last minute to the movies. And I think people liked it. I think half the people probably slept through the movie. It's a dark theater, no, we're tired. But it's a good senior trip. You get to sleep in a reclined seat. It was nice. I slept through the movie too. I had a lot of fun. And then Saturday was prom. I have a lot of fun at prom. I think my grade does a really good job at getting excited and actually dancing. The food was great. And I think a lot of people had a lot of fun doing that. Sadly, today, boys baseball team lost in the state semifinals. And I was really hopeful. I thought they were going to win it all, but just came up a little bit short. And the boys lacrosse team is also playing today in the state semifinals. And then the girls lacrosse team plays tomorrow in the state semifinals. So I think we got two
Well,
more.
they actually played, they played today and they lost.
Oh,
It's 15-7.
Boys golf.
okay.
I just found out because my granddaughter
So
played.
2 more teams. Boys lacrosse, boys.
Yeah, they got close though.
We're hopeful that they can maybe finish the job. Today was yearbook dedication, where they dedicated the yearbook to Miss Tibbetts, and they talked about the senior superlatives. And I was very proud. I got future Bill Nye. So, and trimester is obviously coming to an end. School is coming to an end. So exams are Friday, Monday, and Tuesday for underclassmen. And tomorrow is my last day of school ever.
But they're high school.
So, and then senior awards are next Tuesday, and next Thursday is graduation. And then we have night of hand, the night of graduation, and that's it.
Wow. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Eli. So anything you wanted to spring on us last minute with your last report?
Well, I had a little speech prepared, because I think a lot of people like to give me credit and like to tell me I do a good job, and you guys included. But really, I remember 2 years ago, I sat right there with my mom for 2 hours, longest I stayed at a board meeting. That's all you guys are aware of. But I realized immediately, like, you guys, I was so impressed by your effort and how focused you guys were and how serious that you guys all took this role. And it really like inspired me to try my hardest, because I'm thinking, like, you guys gave me this opportunity and I didn't really think I deserved it. I applied and I got chosen, but in the moment, I did nothing to deserve it. I got lucky. So I sat there for 2 hours and was like, okay, I can't mess it up now. Like, these guys all work so hard every other Tuesday. And who am I to show up and be like, oh, I can just like brush this off. This doesn't matter. No, it does matter. And it mattered to me because it matters to all of you. So I think that when you guys have shown me, like, to inspire others to put in effort, you as leaders need to put the effort forth yourself, if that's what you want to see in the people that you're leading. And it was just really impressive that all you guys show up every single meeting, like very disciplined, put in a lot of effort. I could tell how much this means to you. And that's why it means a lot to me. So I just thank you guys. Like, I can't explain how much this meant to me and like how this has really changed my life. Like, I really love, this is my favorite part of school. You know, it's one of my favorite parts. I love every single other Tuesday because I get to go and not just get the opportunity to speak, but really like be around you guys. I mean, I think you guys are great people. I love how hard you work, and I wanted to be a part of this board because I want to be associated with you guys. I think you guys work really hard. I want to be a part of it. So thank you so much for this opportunity.
We're gonna thank you formally in a moment, but thank you very much. I wish you had like a sibling that could replace you. We'll get to that too. Seriously, thanks. And again, we'll get to more
It's been a
official
pleasure.
thanks.
It has been a pleasure.
You're very humble. You did a lot to deserve to be here.
True. You mind us bombarding you with questions, right?
I
Well.
like answering questions. I like answering.
And we really enjoyed your answers, and which often included some humor, and
Yeah.
that was awesome. So our meetings can get dry at times, so we were looking forward to our report from you and I. So, all right, I want to get next to the superintendent's report because now we can officially talk about Eli.
Right, yeah, so that didn't take long. We're right back to thanking you. You said we got lucky. I feel you said you got lucky. We got lucky by having you here. I truly mean that. And you know, very honest, upfront reports, and you know, thorough. You know, it was clear you put a lot of time into it, and so I can't thank you enough. You know, seeing you on the soccer field, seeing you in school, I think you took advantage of everything, all the opportunities available to you. But I also appreciated, you know, your honest feedback and you know, just direct approach when things maybe didn't go as well as you thought they should, or things could be improved on, because that's what we're all about. You know, improving, you know, each and every day. And so you know, I think you had great attendance at the board meetings. It's, you know, it's clear, and this is a great process, is a great piece of, you know, boards of education that we have students sit on this. We just got contacted last week from a school district that wanted to know about our process and how we chose students and how it worked on the board of ed. So I think that you know, Madison, and I don't take credit for this, that happened, you know, long before I've been here, but Madison has a great process, and you know, has amazing students that come forward, and certainly you have done that for 2 years. So we appreciate your time, and I know other board members want to say some words as well. So I'll turn it over to.
We'll just go in order from down that end to this end.
Oh.
Go ahead, Christine. Or
I think you did a wonderful job, and I congratulate you on the honors program at UConn. I wish you well, be safe, I'm being a mom. Call your parents and just have a great time.
And I want to thank you also and commend you on the speech you just gave. That was really very honorable and very humble. You're highly recommended, and that's why you were selected based on your character and your hard work. So you absolutely deserve this spot, and we were very lucky to have you here for this time. So thank you.
It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the board. I really enjoyed your take on things and your honesty and allowing me, especially to ask you like a million questions without being frustrated or anything. So I wish you well at UConn and good luck.
Thank you.
Eli, it has been a pleasure. We really enjoyed your reports, but also, again, your sense of humor that you brought to it. But there was always a sense of you were very earnest about the work and bring that same sort of embracing any type of work, bring that with you where you go, and remember that we're rooting for you back here in Madison.
Thank you.
You're very
I know I speak for everybody, we're really gonna miss you, you're amazing, and I love your reports, they're ironic and insightful. And you know, we've made your parents proud, and you know, just onward, upward, thank you.
Eli, I think, I mean, I already said thanks a bit, but I think one thing you probably learned is that board meetings can be boring. They can get tense at times, and boards have to make difficult decisions and work together toward consensus and doing what's right for this, keeping the students in mind first and foremost, and our staff and all of our teachers. And so just the fact that you came forward and said what you said tonight is so meaningful, because it reinforces that we're on the right track, that we're doing good work and important work, and we greatly appreciate your contributions to that. And again, your sense of humor and your honesty and reflection that, when we asked you questions and we got your unrehearsed answers, it was always helpful to us. So thank you, and good luck in UConn honors.
And I'm just gonna ditto everything that everyone else said and say, I wish you all the best. And it was really fun having you here, and I appreciate you
Thank you.
so much, and good luck.
Having student voice in this meeting is so incredibly important. You brought a lot to it personally. And, I think of a number of meetings, and I always listen to you carefully. When we talk about advisement and others, it's like, I want to know what they think. I want to know how they experience it. There's another sidebar to it that I just tell you personally, and I think it's true for, all of the board members. When we start a meeting, and you guys are almost always the first ones here, okay? But it just gets to me immediately, and it's a reminder, this is why I'm here. To have students here is a reminder to each of us why this work is so important. So I thank you for being there. It's bolstered my experience just having you here.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eli. And so as Eli departs us onto UConn, and which will be nice, is we'll have a pipeline to know what's going on in Eli's life. And so we have an introduction of our new student rep. So Grace Ackerman. I don't know if this has ever happened where siblings have replaced each other, but Grace Ackerman joins us. So welcome, welcome, Grace.
Kind of.
Yeah, and
And the mother there. Sean's mother.
and Seth participated in the process to select Grace from several students who applied. So I'm going to turn over to Seth to say a few words about that process and how that went.
Yeah, so, well, Grace, welcome. Thank you for stepping forward, which, based on your student record and your achievements and your extracurriculars so far, did not seem like a stretch for you at all. You seem to step forward and take responsibility and leadership on a lot of things. I want to know what's in the water at the Ackerman house. I hope it's not uranium in Madison, but
Mama's
yeah,
in the water.
but we almost had like a little joke that occurred while we were reviewing, because we have, as always, we have incredible competition and amazing students that apply. And we winnowed it down to 5. And, it's hard to pick among them. And we kind of jokingly noted that, like, well, Grace actually knows what she's getting into and still wants to do it. So, we really look forward to you kind of taking the mantle and to mix a metaphor, running with it. Do you run with a mantle? Well, whatever. But one thing I mentioned when we welcomed you on board after deciding that it would be Grace was like, we put your brother to his paces. We may ask questions, we may pop questions on you out of nowhere. Please be honest and truthful and share with us your unvarnished opinions. Feel free to make us laugh a little bit, because again, our meetings can be boring. And welcome, and we look forward to 2 years with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
In full disclosure, I had no idea that you were his sister and that you're the mom. So congratulations.
Except I saw you walking with him and then
I
I
did.
see you.
I heard
sitting here.
Yeah. Well, I remember Grace being little Grace, so I'm like, oh my God, that's Grace.
And you could tell us what's going on.
But I did mean that, you like, call your mom. Right? Yes, because we'll find you.
Great. I don't-
He's scary. Okay.
You don't have to.
I'm just really grateful for this opportunity. As Eli's mentioned, he made it sound incredible and I knew this was something I really wanted to be a part of. So I'm really thankful for you guys giving me this opportunity and selecting me amongst the competitive competition. So I'm looking forward to it. I hopefully will adapt as well as Eli did, and I'm just really excited for what's to come.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mom.
And the initiation will be next week. No.
Take the summer off.
Yeah.
So just a short report, tonight there was data provided to the board on AP prep sessions. It was requested at 2 meetings ago. And so we worked with the high school to provide this to the board. And I'm happy to answer any questions on that at this point, or please feel free to reach out if there's any questions that you may have.
I actually had a question, Craig. Actually a comment. Is it right, there was what, 413 kids that participated in the AP prep?
There's 413 students that attended a session. It's not a unique count of students. So the same student may have attended multiple different sessions.
So it's student hours, it looked like, yeah.
So I have a comment, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, yes.
So I had actually discussed this with Dr. Cook before, but I just wanted to bring it up to the whole board that I think that in order for students to fully utilize the AP prep sessions, I think we need some sort of parameters set. Because I think, it's a very busy time for teachers and students. And in order to allow for a student to plan to attend a prep session, like you have to give them enough notice. These kids, if they're taking AP courses, these are busy kids. These are kids that know how to study and they are already making their own plans of how they're going to prepare and study for this test. They have extracurricular activities, they have outside sports. And so they're really trying to schedule, fit into their own schedule. So if a teacher is not planning well in advance or giving the students enough notice to say, this is when we're going to have our prep sessions, it's very difficult, I think, for the students to take advantage of them. And so I think it was very much varied between all the different ones that we've offered. And of course, it's not mandatory at all for these teachers are willing to dedicate their time to have these prep sessions, but at the same time, I think that we need some sort of, parameters set, like at least this much time in advance to get your courses set to say this day at this time is a prep session, this day at this time, so that everyone can make adequate plans so that they can attend. Because I think that these numbers are not really quite clear. Would more students have
attended prep sessions if they had more notice? Or was it like a very busy sports schedule that particular time? Like, there's definitely not enough information here to look at this data and say that, and I'm not one to throw money at things. So if we want to say, we want to spend more money, invest more money in these AP prep sessions, then I think we need more information to see how we're actually utilizing them and if the students are able to utilize it as much as they want to. And that's my.
So can I
Christine,
Thank you.
sorry.
So I agree that maybe there's not enough information on here, but I also agree that the 15,000 that was taken out of the AP prep session should be put back in. And I actually found that money in the attendance tardiness or the attendance line. It's like 17,000. So I would implore this board to find that money and put it back in for AP prep. Because I don't think there's enough information. And I think if timing is an issue with AP kids getting into these sessions, then we should make it more available. So I think it should have.
Right,
more
that
money
was
there.
taken out of our budget, that was.
Right, I'm suggesting it be put back in. And transferred. At the timing on July 1.
Go ahead.
Do we have a sense of student feedback on how effective the sessions were?
Really just anecdotal. I mean, we've asked some questions. I think Eli has shared it in the past as well, that they appreciated it. I think some of the challenges is, in 2022 was our pilot year. We had 2 teachers. Last year we had 13 teachers. This year we had 17 teachers. Trying to stay within a budget, so it's not like we can open this up completely. I do agree that some parameters will enhance the kind of experience for students. I want some flexibility still available so that if there's a AP prep session and everybody agrees, like we still got some more work to do, the teacher can offer that. But again, I think, it was a smaller line item and we're just trying to stay within that. I still look at it as we move, 3 or 4 students, and I think we've done more than that, but if we move 3 or 4 students from a 2 to a 3, that's a 3-credit course that we're granting that student at a clip of about $3,000 each. So it pays back pretty quickly. And our scores have increased. The other piece that I think is amazing that the high school really deserves some great credit on with AP, just the focus in general, not just AP prep. I don't think that this is all that's attributing to that. There's more that's happening during the day is really what's attributing to this. But we had 276 students or 276 exams passed in 23. In 2018, with a bigger high school, we had 248. So we are, with lower student enrollment, increasing the number of tests that are passed. And this is, we believe, one of our highest, if not the highest ever percentage of students taking the AP exam when they're taking the test. So 89% is a really good return. So this is just such a small fraction of really what leads to those results. It's the instruction that happens in the classroom, the 182 days a year is really what leads to that. And leading up to that students feel comfortable taking the class, that school counseling encourages students to stretch and take AP tests, families support it. So there's a lot to this. This is just a small piece, but I agree that some enhancements in terms of announcing when the prep will be available, is the teacher going to do that, timing, things like that, or students are so busy that will be a good add.
Can we anticipate that some of the same teachers will also do the same prep next year? Maybe there's a learning curve both ways.
I think it becomes easier for the teacher the second time around. Teachers have shared with us that it allows them to kind of do the testing strategies during the prep classes, and then they can focus more on the curriculum during the school day, which I think is a great piece to this.
The one thing I would say is, I think, I agree that advanced notice helps kids, or help students, but at the same time, I think for the students who are kind of on the fence as to whether they want to take an AP course to begin with or not, or maybe they're thinking of adding a second AP course and they're not sure. I think it does give them solace and confidence knowing that, you know, if I can do a review session at the end before I have to take it, especially if I have to take it in the first 2 trimesters instead of the second 2 trimesters, then it might sway in favor of them participating and taking the exam.
I was thinking that if a teacher had done the preparation this year, they could give the student like a review packet for the prep sessions. Going, so for those students who finish up an AP course in the second trimester, they can exit with a review packet and then pick it up more easily in the sessions towards the spring.
Absolutely, that's a good piece as well.
Anyone down here have any input? No? Yeah. go.
So one of the things that I think is important. I think we should get some sort of feedback, not only from the students, but also from the teachers about how they felt these AP review sessions went. Like, did they feel that, you know, they had adequate time to prepare for it, or just, you know, anything? And also, like, you know, one teacher doing one course and another teacher doing another course, they might be able to assist each other, you know, and saying like, this worked for me to help, you know, get the review session going or whatever. But I know definitely this year there was a big variance between teachers that started the review sessions for whatever course and other ones where it was very last minute, and so a lot of students didn't sign up for it. So I think when you look at some of these courses and you're like, oh, only a couple people did it. Well, you don't know. I know, but I'm not gonna say, but at least one of the courses was so last minute that I don't think it was fully utilized as maybe it would have been given enough advance notice. And so that's what I was saying with not having enough information. You don't know. And so it would be very good feedback to get from the students in the classes, whether or not they participated in these sessions. Did they feel like they had adequate time to say that, yes, I can go to that or not? And also for the teachers to say, I felt like this was worthwhile, or I felt like the students were not really, you know, not really utilizing it well enough. So maybe we can get some sort of a questionnaire or something. I think it would be really useful information going forward. And I do think it's really important for those subjects where, you know, some people, it's a 2 trimester course and they're not taking that final exam until May. You have that entire last trimester where you don't even think about that course. And now these review sessions are going to be really important for you if you want to sit for that AP exam. And so that's my final thought.
Any other thoughts? If
Any
not,
thought?
I did want to point out, just the genesis of this was, I think it was 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, that the superintendent raised this program on a pilot basis and wanted to fund it to $30,000. We decided that budget year to fund it to $15,000 as a pilot. Bless you.
Thank
And we decided to revisit it at Diane's urging. Thank you. We have revisited it. And I think we are learning a lot. And, you know, I think in accordance with, you know, Mary Ann, Christine, I think most of the folks who spoke at the table seem to feel that it's worthwhile taking up as a matter for discussion going into next budget cycle. So,
I don't think anyone is against funding it, but again, I'll stay where I always am, which is if you're not spending the money, I don't see doubling the money.
yeah,
You know, I understand wiggle room of money to say, if we need to add more sessions, we have the money for it, but.
Yeah.
I think you know where I stand.
all right, thank you. Do you want to?
Yeah, just one, and we will present some information that, you know, again in September. That's when we present our results, so we'll look forward to presenting the AP results at that point with some data, and we'll revisit the information we just shared, and then also the proposed, you know, kind of parameters that we were looking at doing. I've got a Google Doc that I've shared with the high school that we've kind of gone back and forth on a little bit in terms of suggestions and how to make it, it's got to be flexible for teachers, as you shared. This is you know, work that they're not required to do, but it's you know, I think that they need to see the value in it to do it, and so you know, we'll try and get a sweet spot on that works for everybody.
When do we get the test results for this APs?
Students start getting, this is the one piece where students start individually seeing that before us typically, and so it's over the summer. So we won't have that for you probably till August timeframe, and then September, we present that, yeah. One last piece in the superintendent's report. I received today a appeal from a parent that's somewhat timely. I updated the board that this was most likely coming. I did receive that today, so I'll share that with the board. I'll share that with the executive committee, and it would be something that I asked the board to take up on the 18th. I did speak with Chair McClaskey, indicated it would most likely start in policy, but I haven't even had a chance to read the final appeal from the parent who I did meet with last week, I believe it was. And like I said, I'll get that to the board, and I think that that's probably the direction we would do with policy first, and then the board meeting on the 18th to consider that. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 5, any board member comments? Unsurprisingly, I will start. I just wanted to comment a couple things. First of all, we had both proms, and both went off well, and thankfully there were no adverse issues, which is always a wonderful thing when during prom season. Really proud of the students for being responsible. And then also, we had like 43 students, I believe, inducted into the National Honor Society, and there's 2 induction ceremonies a year. Like, we are pumping out National Honor Society students at quite a clip, and it's really impressive. But at the same time, we've had not only very impressive results again with student acceptances to really find institutions of higher learning, but also one thing I think this board would share my pride in is that we had students who were celebrated for deciding to go to community colleges and not necessarily four-year colleges and other associates programs, for going into work. And especially in our CTE program and with our career counseling that we started doing, we have 4 students who have decided to go on directly into the electric boat training program, which is fantastic. They are not going to have student loans. They're going to have wonderful upper middle class lives. And, I think one thing we can take pride in as a board is, whereas we have always as a district, as far as I can remember, we've always had strong counseling for the students going, planning the traditional college path. But we've really done a lot of work to really holistically approach the needs of all the students post high school. And I think that's phenomenal. So I wanted to share that. And then finally, Dr. Cook pointed out to me last week, every single one of our spring sports teams made the postseason. Every single one of them. Now, we heard some unfortunate news tonight. Maybe they only advanced so far and didn't get all the way, and that's fine, and that's great. But one thing I would also point out that we should take pride in as a board, because we have specifically taken this on, is this shows that we are not only excelling at sports, which our district has tended to do for many years, but we're excelling the right way, and we're doing it with good sports and good scholar athletes. And I think we can take some pride in that. So that's it for my member comments. Anyone else? Yeah.
I would like to just put out there that I would love to see some sort of feedback from our students regarding our guidance department. Not just from seniors, but starting, with the freshmen for each class. And I'm not really sure, the logistics of this, but it would be, I think it's important information to find out what our students feel or think about the guidance that they're getting from our department. If they feel it's timely, if they feel it's helpful, if they feel that they're not getting what they need, both good and bad, because I have heard lots of different things from different students across the years, and
when we look at our school as a whole, you know, we also have to look at how we're helping our students through the guidance department. Because it's a lot of work, you know, even before junior year hits. And I think that, that some students feel that they didn't get as much help as they needed. Or even the parents to find out if they feel like they're getting the information in a timely fashion. I just think across the board, we need some more information here.
I would just like to respond to that quickly, that I just want to clarify that while we've added a counselor for career counseling, that was an added resource, so that doesn't take away from the counselors for the college path.
No, I just mean like in general, like, you know, not just like picking your courses for high school, but then the whole, you know, career planning, the timing of things, when applications should be in. And I know there's a lot. I mean, I only have one child, so I only went through this once, but my God, you know, there's a lot of information and everybody's got a different deadline. And then there's, you know, the SATs and the ACTs and the deadlines for those. And there's just so much information. And, you know, even with all the resources that we have, I often felt like I didn't know who to ask or where to go or where to find the information. And, you know, you pull from the parents that you know and the people that you know. But I just feel like I want to know what the student experience is and how they feel that they're being guided. Because I think that would speak volumes to how our guidance department can really give them what they need. And I'm not saying that they're not.
Yeah.
But I'm saying we can always do better. We can be like Avis and try harder.
Well, now we have a representative. That's fine.
Thank you, Jane.
If I could just jump in
Sure.
quick, just to clarify, the career counselor actually was a school counselor that was moved over. It probably would have been considered due to declining enrollment, a position that we may have reduced, but we did move that person over from the existing counselors. And I just wanted to share too, our counselors work with over 200 students each. They do handle 504 plans. They do, you know, a lot of things within the school experience. They meet with students who, everything from a student may come to their door that's, you know, struggling with college planning to, you know, had something in their personal life that just went poorly and you know, they drop everything and work with them. So, you know, I think that our experience, what we've seen on the parent surveys for counseling has been pretty good. You know, again, like we've said, you know, repeatedly, it's always something that we'd like to do better on. But I just wanted to put that kind of in perspective in terms of the number of students they work with. It's a pretty heavy lift in terms of what we ask them to do, and that has expanded, you know, over the years in terms of what's required with 504 plans, things like that.
But you know, I'm never one to throw money at things, but like if our needs are not being met, you know, then it's something that we should look at.
Mhm.
Or if it's just reorganization or whatever, you know, if. I think there's been a lot more demand, you know, on our guidance department. And we only have so many guidance staff. So it's something to look at, because if our students feel like they're not getting the information that they need, or the parents feel like they're not getting the information that they need from the students or through the students, then it's something that we can do better. And if that requires, although I don't like to pay more money, if it requires a new position, if it requires, you know, moving people around, whatever it needs, like, I just want to look at it. I want data.
So, can I say?
Sure, Kristen.
So I, as a senior parent, I can tell you that my daughter's guidance counselor was amazing. If I could clone her, I would. She was that phenomenal, but I think the problem comes in, if there is a problem, it comes in that these guidance counselors have to act as social workers half the time. So I think if we start with more social workers in the high school, then the guidance counselors, although I think they do a phenomenal job, if I did a survey, they would get 5 pluses. I think if we start there on a social need basis and then filter down, the guidance counselors would have more time to actually do guidance.
Yeah, I appreciate.
But we don't have to
those-
get into
yeah,
this now.
I appreciate those
So,
comments.
but-
There, we're starting to get into the
Yes,
area
I
where
agree.
it's not on the agenda,
Yep.
but it should be on a future agenda so that we can continue this discussion. So thank you both for your comments and let's do that. Any other board member comments? Seeing none. Agenda item 6, audience response to information presented. Anyone online? Nope, okay.
You're free to go.
Items, yeah. Eli, thank you.
I know it's captivating, but.
Are you leaving?
You know, we have a. I'm going to stay. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you so much. Good luck.
Thank you.
Listen, high five line.
Thank you.
Thank you, congratulations.
Bye, we'll see you.
Yeah.
See you in the end of summer, I guess.
A little flattered.
That's not my age. It's really cold. Oh, you are sweating all day, so you know.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You know,
Thank
Mary.
So you don't know. Oh, yeah. We can put that in his door.
Put it on your dorm door.
Right.
When my first meeting, I was obsessed with this. I loved it so much. I didn't want to ask, but I. Thank you.
Take it easy, Eli, thanks. All right, item 7, the consent agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda? So moved. Stephen,
Second.
seconded by who? I'm sorry, Kathy, thank you. At this straight table, it's hard for me to see, so help me out with those, thank you. Any discussion on the consent agenda?
I just have one comment on
Sure.
that. If we could, for the personnel report, I don't, there's names there, but if we can just put a cost of the new hires, a cost of the reassignments, and a cost of the retirements, so we can have a net number.
So there, just an easier one to answer, the reassignments, there wouldn't be a cost per
Okay.
se, those are just, the salaries are the same, whether they're at each school. I would like to bring the request to the executive committee, I do have a few concerns, so.
I don't wanna know individual, yeah, let me just make it up. Just drill down a little bit more. I don't wanna know the exact amount per person,
Mhm.
just a net number
I see,
is all I'm asking. So the new hires, the net number is X, the retirement and resignation, that number is Y. The net number. would be-
I see, yeah, thank you for clarifying
Yes,
that,
sorry
yeah,
about that.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
And we'd have to pick a certain time because what happens is,
But yeah,
the retirements don't always match up with when the new
Yeah,
hire staff
that's fine.
happens, okay.
Right. Thank you. Any further discussion on the consent agenda? Seeing none, all in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, nay. Any abstentions? Motion carries 8-0. And now we go to item number 9, board committees and liaison updates. And we will start with the curriculum and student development meeting with planning, which met tonight. Stephen.
Yes, we met this evening. Our members, Mary Ann Connolly, Kathy Miller, and myself, also present, Seth Plaskin, and of course, our assistant superintendent and Gail and Dr. Cook. There were several items on the agenda. One was the dual credit expansion grant and 2 offerings under that grant for the general public. Dual credit are courses where students can gain credit both as high school credit and as college credit. And we do that through a number of colleges. This is through UConn The two offerings, one was process of communication. That's the title of the course. Our Daniel Hand teacher is approved and certified to teach that course, and the course syllabus was approved. There is a textbook that will come up later in the meeting that they're seeking board approval on. The other course is Math for Business and Economics. Again, same process. Teacher approved to teach the course and course syllabus approved. Of note on that course in particular, the text that UConn was using in the estimation of our faculty was outdated and not as responsive to students as we would like. So the faculty team explored and sought out a text that is more current and challenging and fits entirely within the syllabus of the UConn course, and that is called finite mathematics, and that'll come up in the next part of the agenda. But I found it interesting that there was the level of flexibility that allowed the adapting of the course that UConn would give credit for to be more responsive to what the faculty here at in Madison thought would be more responsive. Second part of the agenda was seeking textbook approval from the board, and that will be an action item later this evening. The textbook are for both of those courses, process of communication, and the math course, which is finite mathematics. Of continuing interest on textbooks. Each of these courses has a digital component and lots of opportunities for students to be able to get feedback and utilize digital and video. An additional textbook that they're seeking board approval is American Sign Language 2. It's of note that the students of American Sign Language 1 were involved and participated in reviewing the textbook. Again, this is one that has a digital and a video component, and the video component in particular, when you're dealing with ASL, is a great asset. But they're seeking board approval for these. All of these items, particularly the dual credit, and were covered under a grant. Last item were curriculum unit adoptions, the continuing process that we're all familiar with of teams of teachers and leadership within the departments. Long-standing, usually year-long process of looking and adjusting the curriculum to be more responsive to students and looking at, vertical alignment and profiles of a graduate and all of the pieces that go in. The curriculum units that were offered tonight and seeking approval is grade 7 algebra 1 and grade 7 pre-algebra. In addition, grade 8 and 9 wellness, and 6 through 8 PE, lifetime PE, leisure PE, all curriculum units that have been completed seeking board approval, and they're in your packets. And world language, grade 7 Spanish and grade 8 French. Just note on the comments around the development of pre-algebra and algebra 1, the thoughtfulness that has gone into trying to convert these subject areas in ways that capture student imagination and presenting novel problems and letting students in small teams struggle with those problems and trying to find unknowns versus, you know, what many of us think of as traditional algebra instruction, which is, you know, the direct instructions and the mechanics, and then, you know, students practicing those. So it was very nice to see that. And the last piece of that, you know, that I saw, particularly in the presentation around the language curriculum, is building in a self-awareness tracker, you know, really encouraging students to look at their goals, their performance, and asking them what, you know, worked well for you. Did you meet your goal? What work remains? You know, that kind of reflection on their classwork, I think, is, you know, very valuable. There was no public comment, and we adjourned at 5:53. Any questions?
One thing that I would add to Steve's report is he detailed us very well on the 3 books that were proposed for adoption. And 2 of them are for AP or for ECE classes. So they're very kind of tightly prescribed coursework that we have to follow. So the books associated with them and one that they'll allow us to use for that communication class and for the math class, for example, have to be approved and have been, assuming we adopt them. The sign language book is the second level of the same publisher that publishes the first American Sign Language book that we use. So this is just the second in the series that it was explained to us by Jennifer Aguzzi, I believe, last year, when we adopted the first in the series, that we would be looking to adopt the second in the series as well, but they just needed more time to review. The reason I'm raising this is because in order to have the books on time and have them ordered in time to get them delivered, there's a little bit of a rush in terms of it is recommended, although not required, that we waive the 2-week reading period that we normally allow the board members if they want to pour through those math and communications and sign language books. Don't all rush at once. But because of the specific nature of all 3 of these books, 2 of them being for tightly conscripted courses, and one of them being a continuation of a publication that we've already approved in the past for ASL 1. I would entertain a motion to open the agenda and add an action item tonight to adopt those 3 textbooks that were approved by the curriculum committee by vote tonight. That's not right now, that's after we get out of the committee reports. But I just wanted to let you know and kind of explain what's going on there and our timing need. So any questions for Steve or for me after that? No? Okay, thank you, Steve. Good report. Now we have facilities committee. Emily is not able to be at this meeting, although she did stop by for the retirement presentation that we had before this, which was nice, but she was unable to stay for this meeting. I will report that there is no report from facilities this evening because they did not meet. Finance committee, Galen.
Same, we did not meet, no report.
Okay, thank you. Personnel committee, Maureen.
We did meet, we're in discussions with the Teamsters Union.
Thank you. Policy committee, Diane.
I've been waiting all year to say this. There is absolutely no report.
Woohoo.
Notice there wasn't anything on.
Yeah.
There's no first reads, there's no second reads, there's no action items, nothing.
How anticlimactic.
Take down the date.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's being recorded, so you can play that back and enjoy it. All right. Learn liaison, Mary Ann.
We'll be meeting the 13th in
And
the morning, and
that's your last meeting.
that's our last meeting yet.
for the year.
Greg will come and have breakfast and
And
then leave.
All right, action item number 10. Motion to approve a donation to Polson Middle School from the Polson PTO in the amount of $2,000 to help fund the grade eight trip to Holiday Hill. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Diane, second by Kathy, thank you. Any discussion on this?
Thank you to Folsom PTO.
Thank you, Polson PTO. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of accepting the donation to Polson Middle School from the Polson PTO in the amount of $2,000 to help fund the grade eight trip to Holiday Hill, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Any abstentions? Motion carries 8-0. Action item 11. I need a motion to authorize the Finance Committee Chair to close out the 2023-2024 fiscal year directly with the Finance Director. Now, the Finance Committee had already voted to approve that last week. And so this is on the recommendation of Finance Committee. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Diane,
Second.
second from Kathy, thank you. Any discussion?
This does not include the vote for the budget reduction from the specific areas. This is just closing out the year, correct?
No, that vote happened at the last
Yeah, it
meeting.
did.
Yes, yeah,
Yep, that's been finalized.
So that vote was to just reduce the budget. It wasn't for the specific areas where it's being reduced.
No, we detailed where the
We
240.
discussed it, but we didn't vote on it. We voted on the reduction of the 240, yes.
The action item said as specified by the superintendent.
Oh, okay, sorry.
thank you, sir. All right, any further questions on this motion? Seeing none, all in favor, aye. Opposed, nay. Any abstentions? Okay, motion carries 8-0. Action item 12. Motion, I need a motion to approve the minutes of the May 21st, 2024 Board of Ed meeting.
So moved.
So moved by Diane,
Second.
seconded by Kathy. I'm sensing a pattern.
Hand up.
Any discussion, recommended edits or anything? Seeing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Any abstentions? Motion carries 8-0. All right, here's where I suggest we add. What I'm gonna call. Motion,
Is this a timely thing? Like it has to be done at this meeting?
well, why don't we get it on and then we can discuss it, but this will be action item 13. I need a motion to open the agenda to add an action item to adopt 3 textbooks approved by the curriculum committee this
So
evening.
moved.
All
Second.
right, so Diane, sorry, Mary Ann. And then Diane seconded. Okay, now we can discuss whether we're voting to open the agenda to add this action item to the agenda. And it's appropriate if you want to ask.
So this is a timely thing where it needs to be done now
Yes,
because
yeah. They have grant money that they need to get started spending so that they can go ahead and move forward with the work. So, Gail has asked.
I would add that two of the 3 texts are covered by a grant. The signing naturally is not covered by a grant, so that one has the latitude of waiting. I think you could wait on the other ones. If you needed to, we just have to expend by July 1. So that's kind of that time there. I think you could.
But it's a continuation of the first.
Signing naturally is a continuation of the first. The 2 texts associated with the ECE course have to be approved by UConn. There's a limited list. So those are put forth from that list, but there is a grant associated with those 2 costs. So we're trying to take advantage of the monies.
And the reason why I would urge us to consider voting for it tonight is because if we can't, in our second June meeting, if we don't have a quorum, we can't vote
No, we always have one.
usually.
The cost for the sign language book then is that something that is
It's $1,800.
the most recent addition? Are we looking to Is there another one coming out?
No, yeah, this one is, hold on, let me get to the proper paperwork, so I get it right. Copyright date is 2014, but it is the most recent edition. It is the following up of the one that we had. It does have the videos. I believe there's a copy somewhere in this library. That I can find for you. Let me check.
Newer edition in 2014.
Sign language.
Guess it doesn't change much.
We're looking for 18 copies. There's 16 students in the class. The total cost is $1,873.81.
And that comes out in our supplies fund, right, that we've already.
And they were soft covered, and one of the things that we did, based on the board's feedback, was we did have them hard covered. We had them shipped out to be hard covered, so they weren't as consumable.
This is not a lot of money. I mean, if that's what we need to do prior to children, you know. Q3, then we'll do it.
I just want the information.
Thank you. All right, so hearing that discussion, this is a vote, remind you to open the agenda to add that action item. Then we would add that action item at item 14, and we would vote on the actual motion. So all in favor of opening the agenda to add an action item to adopt 3 textbooks approved by the curriculum committee? Aye. Opposed, nay. Any abstentions? Motion carries 8-0. And then action item 14 would then be a motion to adopt the 3 textbooks that were approved by the curriculum committee this evening. One for ECE math, one business math, one for ECE communications, and one that is the second in the series of ASL for the ASL2 class.
So
That's Stephen.
Second.
Steve, second by Mary Ann. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, aye. All opposed, nay. Any abstentions? The ayes have it, 8-0. Thank you. Okay. Now newly numbered action item number 15. We're gonna need do we need a motion to go into executive session? Or
Yes.
Okay, I need a motion to enter executive session for the purpose of discussing the evaluation of the superintendent.
So moved.
Minutes by Diane,
Superintendent.
and we'll be inviting the superintendent to that discussion. Go ahead, and you said second?
Yeah, you have to invite
Steve.
I don't get invited to.
All right.
I need
Any,
to amend my motion to include superintendent.
no, I
Okay.
verbally, so
Check.
at 8:08 PM. Assuming it passes, yeah, that's what it'll do to that. All right, all in favor, any discussion on going into executive session? Seeing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Any abstentions? Motion carries 8-0. Thank you.
8:08.
At 8:08 PM. Okay.
Oh.
You're taking over going to Bermuda.
Yeah.
Apparently you're going to. Bermuda.
Right.
No, somebody else did it.
So you back on?
Yeah.
Thank you, Zoe. All right, so I need a motion to return to the regular session from our executive session.
So moved.
Diane, can I get a second?
Second.
Second from, oops. Maureen, thank you. All in favor, aye. All opposed, nay. Any abstentions? 8-0. We are back in regular session. Does new item number 16, any future agenda items? No? Okay, item 17, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Well, let's give that to Steve, seconded by Diane. At 8:20 PM. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, aye. All opposed, nay. And any abstentions? 8-0. We are adjourned. Thank you.